Akojopo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening, welcome to News Around the World on Akojopo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Wuraola Yusuf. The headlines: Federal Government, NBA, UNICEF unveil free legal services for children. Makinde vows to keep putting Oyo people first till end of tenure. Iran ties Hormuz reopening to United States compromise on several demands. Justin Madugu takes full responsibility after Super Falcons. Now the details. The federal government, Nigerian Bar Association, and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, have launched a partnership to expand access to pro bono legal services for children in conflict with the law and other vulnerable children across Nigeria. Representing the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi at a high-level stakeholders meeting in Abuja today, the Director, Administration of Criminal Justice and Reform Department in the Federal Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Letitia Ayola Daniels, said access to justice was a fundamental right of every child. Mrs. Daniels said children who came into contact with the justice system, whether as victims, witnesses, or alleged offenders, deserve protection and fair treatment, noting that the federal government was prioritizing children's rights, including addressing unnecessary detention and improving access to child-friendly justice mechanisms. The director, however, stressed that the effectiveness of reforms would ultimately be measured at a point where children encountered the justice system. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has hinted that the payment of its proposed annual 200 naira dues may become a requirement for students seeking mobilization for the National Youth Service Corps scheme, as the students may need proof of payment of the association's dues to be mobilized for camp. The NANS National President, Comrade Akintaye Babatunde, disclosed this in a Facebook post today while discussing the organization's finances and plans to change how its dues are collected. Comrade Babatunde explained that the association was considering a system that would allow it to pay its dues directly from students rather than relying on student union government and institutional management. According to the NANS president, the proposed system was not intended to place an additional financial burden on students, but to ensure that NANS had the resources needed to operate independently and represent students effectively. The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has said his administration will continue to prioritize decisions that directly benefit the people of the state until the end of his tenure. Governor Makinde stated this while hosting members of the Muslim community to the Hijra 1448 luncheon at the Banquet Hall, Government House, Agodi, Ibadan. The governor appreciated the Muslim community for its support for his administration since its inception, saying the support was also reflected in the votes he received during the 2023 governorship election. Governor Makinde, who said he has spent 96 months in office, noted that about 91% of his time in government had been devoted to serving the best interest of the people of Oyo State. The condition of some public schools in Onara local government area of Oyo State has continued to raise concerns, with pupils and teachers facing challenges that could affect effective teaching and learning. A visit to some schools in the area reveals concerns about the state of classrooms, school furniture, and other basic facilities, with the residents calling for urgent intervention. Akojopo FM News correspondent Abiodun Loyede takes a closer look at the condition of some public schools in Onara local government area. Here is the report.
Residents in Onara local government are calling for urgent rehabilitation of school facilities to create a safer and more conducive environment for teaching and learning. According to residents, some of the facilities require urgent attention to provide pupils with a safer and more conducive learning environment. Residents say the deteriorating infrastructure could affect the quality of education if not addressed, stressing the need for the government to rehabilitate damaged facilities and provide essential learning materials. Speaking with Agidigbo FM News, a resident near Elekuro High School, Mrs. Iyabo, explained the condition of Elekuro High School and Bioku Aladon in Onara local government.
I am pleading to the government to help us with chairs to sit for the students, especially in this Elekuro High School. Even if you go to Bioku Aladon, there is no chair to sit for students, and this is affecting their education. We need the government to intervene in this issue.
In an interview with Agidigbo FM News, Mrs. Morenike Tauvik, who has a child in St. John Anglican School, gave some explanation on the state of the school.
In this St. John Anglican Primary School, they are actually doing well. If I won't lie, they are teaching the students well, and the school environment is okay for the students to enjoy.
Also speaking with Agidigbo FM News, Mrs. Olawume Oladejo, who stays near St. John Anglican School, made a request from the government.
Secondary school. In this our area here, we only have St. John Primary School and they are doing well. But we need secondary school in this area. And they've started the foundation, but nothing was done since they finished the foundation. So I'm using this medium to inform the government to help us out.
Residents are calling on the government to improve the condition of the schools, provide adequate learning materials, and renovate facilities that are in poor condition. They also state the need for regular maintenance of public schools, saying improved infrastructure will not only create a better environment for pupils and teachers, but also contribute to better educational outcomes across the local government. Abiodun Oloyede, Agidigbo FM News.
Meanwhile, the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has told those jostling to succeed him in 2027 to stop using the administration shortcomings as a campaign strategy, saying he will not be on the ballot in the governorship election. Governor Makinde, who spoke at a program today in Ibadan, the state capital, also appeared to take a swipe at popular broadcaster and Accord governorship candidate Oriyomi Hamzat over claims by some political actors about his role in Makinde's emergence in politics. The governor said rather than abusing him or dwelling on what his administration had failed to accomplish, those seeking to be his successor should tell the people of your state what they intended to do differently if elected. Governor Makinde, whose second term expires in 2027, urged the electorate to demand accountability from all the governorship contestants and asked them to explain how they would improve on these administration's achievements and address areas where it fell short. Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio, Maryland studio, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. Iran said it was nearing a final pact with Oman, defining new shipping lanes between them through the Strait of Hormuz, but repeated that the United States must meet other conditions, including compensation and an end to sanctions and military threats before the strategic waterway is reopened. The strait, through which about a fifth of global oil and liquefied natural gas flowed prior to the conflict, has been effectively blocked since the U.S.-Israeli attacks on Iran on February 28, pushing up oil prices and inflation. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Bagel said on Monday that talks with Oman on arrangement for navigation through the strait were progressing smoothly and constructively, with an agreement reached on a shipping route map, while some technical issues on a joint statement remained unsolved. He said during a weekly press conference in Tehran that the discussion also covered mechanisms for safe navigation, environmental protection, maritime services, and combating crime, adding that such services would normally entail receiving payment in return. Police in Eastern India used tear gas, batons and water cannon on Monday to disperse thousands of young protesters marching towards the state legislature in Jharkhand over alleged irregularities in civil service examinations. Students and unemployed young people in Jharkhand, one of India's poorer states, began protesting late last month over allegations of wrongdoing, including leaks of recruitment examination papers. The demonstrations come after weeks of youth-led protest in the capital, Delhi, which were also sparked by allegations of exam paper leaks. Those protests culminated in the resignation of India's Education Minister, Harmendra Pradhan, last month. In Delhi, police and paramilitary forces used tear gas and pellet guns and batons to disperse an estimated 50,000 protesters, some of whom clashed with security forces. The demonstrations highlighted growing anger over alleged corruption in education, limited unemployment opportunities, and high unemployment among young people. Protesters in Jharkhand also demanding an overhaul of state examination system, the cancellation of certain tests, and a federal police investigation into the alleged irregularities. And that is the news from Kuliamzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
And now the exciting world of sports. The Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu has apologized to Nigerians and taken full responsibility following the team's disappointing quarter-final defeat at the 2026 WAFCON. The defeat ended Nigeria's hopes of reaching the semi-finals and securing direct qualification for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, leaving the defending African champions facing another route to the global tournament through the playoffs. Speaking after the game, Coach Madugu acknowledged the disappointment felt by Nigerians, but defended the effort of his players, insisting that the team gave everything on the pitch. Despite the setback, the coach stressed that Nigeria still have an opportunity to achieve their ultimate objective, while calling on the team to regroup quickly and make the most of the World Cup playoff route, and further noted that Nigeria will face South Africa in a crucial playoff match on Thursday, with a place at the World Cup at stake. To wrap up the news this evening, here's a recap of the headlines. Federal government, MBA, UNICEF unveil free legal services for children. Makinde vows to keep putting oil first till end of tenure. Iran ties almost reopening to United States compromise on several demands. Justin Madugu takes full responsibility after Super Falcons.
Don't forget that you can listen to us live on our website www.agidigbo88.7fm.com. You can also download our mobile app on Google Play Store and iOS. Simply search for Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Follow us on Facebook at Agidigbo 88.7 FM, on Twitter and Instagram at Agidigbo 887 FM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have news stories and tips for us, contact our newsroom on 070-8714-4865 or send us a mail on newsroom@agidigbo887fm.com.
And before we go this evening, here's a quick tip. No matter how many mistakes you make or how slow you progress, you're still way ahead of everyone who isn't trying. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on Akojopo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Wuraola Yusuf. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, has called for continuous collaboration.
We bring you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
Southwest Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo 88.7 FM, the people's voice. Agidigbo 88.7